Welcome back, good people, to Sis I Got You. Good people.
Welcome back to Sis I Got You. Today I have V from Salon Talk with V. V, would you like to introduce yourself today?
Yes. Hi, guys. It's Salon Talk with B here. And I don't know why Victoria's acting like this because, guys, we grew up together. So we used to go to church together, actually. So that's how I know her. And I saw her make a post about being a guest on Sis I Got You. And I'm like, Sis, I got you. No problem. We can do it. I'm
Thank
here for you. I mean, I'm gonna support it. So you can find me on Instagram at Salon Talk with B. A lot of my content I post on there. I'm also on Spotify. As far as like listening platforms, I'm on Spotify and Amazon Podcast, and I'm on Google Podcast. So if you're listening to any one of those, that's where you can find me.
thank you so much, V. So
Yeah.
Salon Talk with V. I'll make sure I follow you and I'll listen to your podcast that you've already posted.
Yeah.
Okay, so today's topic is accepting love. I thought this would be a fitting topic of accepting love, and I have a few questions. You're already prepped, and we'll kind of go through the questions, and you give your insight, give some advice, personal opinion, experience, whatever applies. But thank you so much for joining today's topic of accepting
Yes,
love.
my pleasure. Yeah, what you got for me?
Okay, so I'm going to start um, with the first question is how can I focus on self-love and personal growth after a breakup or starting a new relationship?
Well, I mean, I guess I would have to put myself back into being like a single person mindset because I've been married for 10 years. So how can someone like find self-love after a breakup? I guess one would be just really trying to go back and find yourself and find out what it is that you liked doing that you realized that you wasn't doing in the relationship. So going back and finding those things that you love to do or those things that brought you joy. I think that finding that is one way to like give yourself self-love. And people give themselves self-love in many different ways, right? Some people do retail therapy. Some people go to therapy.
Oh yeah.
Some people exercise, they work out. Some people take up a new hobby. Some people find like arts and crafts and things like that to like get them to keep them busy to not necessarily think about the breakup. But it's important that you deal with the breakup so that way you don't bring things that you missed or things that you make mistakes on in your past relationship into the new one.
Love it. So
Yeah.
so so let me ask this. So you brought up a great topic of like you being married for 10 um and so when you think of like okay breakup finding yourself, doing things like you've mentioned. But what about accepting that love within a relationship? Like, how do you, remain level and continuing your self love during your relationship? Because 10 years is a long time. So that's one
Yeah.
kudos. That's
Yeah.
a great accomplishment.
Um, I mean, when you're in a relationship, I think I'm just gonna speak from marriage perspective. For me, it's all a learning lesson, and that is something that I feel like the elders have failed us on in
Mm.
educating us on that. It's something that you are always learning about yourself and about your spouse, and it like continuing to like understand that there's going to be different phases in your life. And I have a mentor, and she's been married for 34 years, I believe, 34 years. And a few things that she said to me really stuck with me, but one of them is she's like, Verlethia, you have to recognize that you don't even understand this person that you are in your 30s. So, and I was like, what? Okay.
Right. Like, yes.
So she's like, when you're you're a different person when you were in your 20s. In your 20s, you're a little bit more naive, you're a little bit more bendable, you're more willing. When you're in your 30s, it's like, okay, I mean, that was before I had more responsibility. So now in my 30s, I feel like I have this feeling inside of me that I need to be a little bit more responsible.
Mm-hmm.
Some people get that feeling earlier or later. It really just depends on where they grew up and how they grew up. But to answer your question, one of the things that she said to me that really stuck out is basically understanding who you are in your at the age that you are.
Being present in today.
Yes, be present in who you are. And I think that is so important. And once you are self-aware of yourself, you're able to communicate to your spouse, to even if you have kids, you're able to communicate that to your kids in a healthy way, or even to people that you work with or outside of your home. Once you know who you are and you are sure of it, it's easier for you to communicate that with other people. And you are okay whether they accept it or
How can I strike a balance between being open to love and taking things slow, leading into a relationship from a previous relationship? How can you find that balance in accepting this love at a slow pace and but still being open to, you know, the things that they're offering?
I think the answer is gonna be simple that I'm gonna give,
Mhm.
and I believe it's from God. And I give this example of riding a bike. I mean,
Mhm.
most people know how to ride a bike, right? So you have been wanting this bike, you have been wanting this love for so long,
Mm.
and you get this bike for Christmas, right? Because you said all year, Mom, Dad, I don't want anything for my birthday. I don't want any new clothes, new shoes for school. I just want this specific bike for Christmas. You have this expectation that on Christmas, you're going to get this bike. So you have this expectation of this next person that comes into your life, they're going to meet you where you're at when it comes to love. And they're going to be able to pour the love into you that you have been desiring all year, but you omitted going on that date, going on that date, going on that date because you're waiting for that love, you're waiting for that bike on Christmas. And then when Christmas Day comes, you wake up and you see either in your bedroom or out in the living room or if you or downstairs or whatever, you see this bike that you showed your parents or your parent a picture of that you wanted for Christmas and they got you the bike. You are so excited. You showed this man or woman how to treat you, how to communicate to you, how to speak to you, how to love you. You showed them that and they give you all those things. It's basically you being patient and you waiting for that moment and believing that it's coming and that you're going to have that time to ride that bike. And taking it slow would mean that now you wanted this bike, right? But you don't know how to ride a bike. So now you have to have a mentor, an elder
Mhm.
to pour into you to show you how to love this person that you have been begging God for that you wanted for so long and now you got it. You don't know how to ride the bike, but now you got to find somebody to teach you and show
I'm
you
real.
how to ride the bike.
Mhm.
So you go real slow on this bike until you are able to pedal faster and you learn how to use the brakes and then you learn how to pop a wheelie. Then you learn how to do all these things. You learn how to love deeply as you like grow and you have someone pouring into you who can lead you and show you the way on how to, you know, receive love.
I love it. I love it.
And that's my answer.
I like that analogy, like of that bike, and I'm going to also echo that with we've all ridden bikes before, right?
Hmm.
So once you sometimes you fall off the bike, right?
Right. Yeah, you fall off. Yeah. You
But
get
once
hurt.
you get hurt,
Yeah.
injure yourself, right?
Yeah.
And then once you get back on, and after you're hurt, like if you fracture your knee or you do something, once that hurt stops, you're
Yeah.
back. You're
Yep.
right. So
Yep.
you know what love feels like. You know how to do it. It's just, a matter of being realistic and taking it slow. Like
Yep.
not rushing into things and
Mm-hmm.
understand that getting to know someone is going to be the safest. Doesn't admit everything, right? Like it don't omit it doesn't omit everything, right? Certain things you're gonna miss, right? You're
Yeah.
just not gonna be there, right? But if you take your time, get to know someone, if
Yeah.
calling me and I have to remind myself to respond, or if I have to be encouraged to do something, that's not natural.
Mm.
I have to be realistic with that. Natural is when they call, I'm excited, like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
because the energy, everything is there, and you kind of want it, right?
Yeah.
Some things look good, and you're like, okay, that'll be a pretty picture for me. I can have that. I like that situation. It seems good, and it's just not natural. It's not, everything's not meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
So taking it slow is identifying those things, knowing why am I reminding myself to call? You do know you're never too busy for somebody you like.
Bloop. I
And
don't think they heard you. Can you say that again? Because I don't think they
you're
heard that.
never too busy for somebody you like.
That's what she said.
And, and you
She said
don't
that.
know that until you find somebody you like. Because then you're
Hmm.
like, wait a minute, I'm not sleeping anymore. Like I'm not doing this. I'm
Yeah, I'm
not.
awake.
I'm going. I'm taking the toothpicks like the cartoon characters and like putting them in my eye.
Yeah, I'm taping my eyelids open just so I can be around you.
Just I could be around you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you feel that, you're like, oh, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
But had you not taken it slow, you won't feel that, right?
Mm. Comes like I said earlier that this life is a journey, and at some point you have to take accountability and understand where that hurt is coming from. So, let me think of an example that doesn't expose too much, but also gives a good example of me being vulnerable. Let me think. So, I'm just gonna say something that a lot of women have in their minds sometimes. For whatever reason, they have this thought. Um, checking your man's phone, right?
Girl,
So that is an example that a lot of women do where they check their man's phone, and that is rooted in your something that you haven't dealt with when it comes to being, not trusting the person that you lay next to. And a lot of things can lead up to a lot of things in your past. Okay, so I'm trying to keep it like single mindset. So going through your man's phone, maybe there was a relationship that you had previously where you had an inclination or feeling that this person was not being honest with you, and so you went through his phone. So you went through his phone, and as the good old country people say, you go looking for something, you're going to find it.
my
So you
Lord.
you found what you were looking for, and now you're mad at this person that you're like, "Oh, I can't believe you betrayed me." But all along, you had this feeling or thought, or there was things that you noticed or you've been hearing, and you letting the hearsay got in your ear, and now you're curious, and you went through his phone and you found what you was looking for. So now you get out of that relationship and you get into another relationship,
And do the same thing.
and this man probably he just why he has not given you any reason, thought to do such, but you are paranoid basically
That's it.
because you have not dealt with the trauma of you finding this stuff in this person's phone. And this is a real life story that I'm talking about.
Listen. So can I just add to that while you're
Yeah.
saying, I haven't gone through a phone since
Yeah.
I was early 20s, I think pre-jazz. Yeah.
Yeah.
The level of pain and physical abuse that my body received after going through that phone, I'm talking about the pit of my stomach, how it fell to my ankles.
And your ankles?
to my ankles. The pit of my stomach fell to my ankles. Do you hear me?
Ooh, that's
There is,
heartbreak.
girl, my God.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell you, um, I I know some people encourage you look for it, but like you said, this is what I look at. If you're doing dishonest things and you are a good person, God gonna set it in your lap.
right.
When I say set it in your lap, He gonna set it in your lap to a place where you're not even gonna be looking for it.
Hmm.
Truth, okay. I don't go through phones,
Yeah.
but to your point, um, you're doing something that you did previously, right?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go a step further. Why? Like why are you going through phones? You know what made me stop going through phones, and it's all about self-reflection. The only reason why I was going through phones is because my friends were going through their many phones. I picked up the
So your
habit.
environment. So basically, if your environment is doing it, you're like, well, I'm gonna do it too because
I picked
they
up
man
that
can't be
habit.
trusted. So then that means my man can't be. But that's not the
That's
case.
not
So
true.
yeah.
Now I'm not saying the phone that I went through, I didn't get what.
So you
let
went looking and you found something.
let me make sure I gain some clarity here. Like, but I even go a step further, as in, why do I have those inconsistent, like emotional, like outbursts with just randomness because of
Yeah.
what I was around and what I saw. My mom has never ever gone through my dad's phone, to my knowledge. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they've been married 40 some odd years, 46, going on 47 years. If I'm not mistaken, maybe a year or two off. Never. And I'm gonna tell you that, but because my friends were going through their million phones, I'm checking voicemails. Girl, I'm seeing stuff I have no business seeing. And you know what people don't realize is when you go through phones, me and you cool. I'm texting you stuff that I don't want your husband to see,
Right.
vice versa. You're texting me stuff you don't want my spouse to see.
Yeah.
It's not even about cheating. So another reason I'm like, you're gonna misinterpret a lot of stuff in that phone. Personally, don't go through phone. But I've
Yeah.
had two people go through my phone, right? So I have a lock code. I didn't used to have a lock code on my phone,
Yeah.
but I have my phone because I'm like, what are you? I don't cheat. I'm not a cheater like that. So you don't have
Hmm.
to worry about going to my phone and finding stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's like, if I'm with you, it is what it is. Now, if we're not together, we're not together. But if we're together, we're together.
Hmm.
So you don't have to go on my phone. I'm gonna leave my
Yeah.
phone right here. If you're looking at it, I'm gonna show you. I don't care.
Yeah.
However, you misinterpret things, right? I
Yeah.
call everybody sweetheart, baby, child. We're from the South, and it's like, what you
Yeah.
doing? Like, I might be saying random stuff. That be what you doing. It appeared that it's more than what it is, and B, we're sisters. Like, it's
Yeah.
just, you shouldn't even put yourself under that type of pressure,
Right. It's too
because a lot of,
much.
you go looking, you're gonna find something, and it
Right.
might not be what you're trying to find. And once you planted those crazy seeds in your brain, they grow.
Yep.
Like sometimes when people say stuff, I say, don't plant that seed, because now that that seed is planted, it's growing. It's like you can't unthink something.
You have to
you know,
uproot it. You have to go back and take it back and uproot it. Yeah. And
that's
in some ways how people can like overcome
that's
that baggage is to deal with it and to
yeah.
recognize
Oh, I love
where
it.
it started. It started with that person the person that abused your trust. You went through the phone and you went looking for something and you found it. So now you got to deal with how you felt in that moment when you went through that phone, when your stomach went to your feet.
Yep, I'm talking about to the ankles,
Oh, I'm
the
sorry, to the ankles. So your stomach went to your
wrapped around
ankles.
my ankles. Oh
No,
my God.
for me, I felt heat on the back of my neck.
I'm telling you,
And
cortisol.
I was like, "Oh, girl, calm down." I had to like
What I
massage
saw.
my chest.
Girl, let me tell you something. You
But
can't unsee. Oh my God, you can't. Girl, I can see that stuff at my 40-year-old self in my 20s.
yeah,
Like, I can see that. I can still see. And so, like, I don't like. I believe in God. Like, I truly know His strength. Like, I know there is a God that sits high and we sit low, right?
mm-hmm,
And so, like, because I truly am a believer, I I know I don't have to do those things. He protect babies and fools. God do that now. So
He said
he
babies and fools.
babies and fools. God do that now. Yes, God does that. He's a God. Like so yes, honey, yes, he
Oh
does. Yeah. So
my gosh.
so when it comes to me trying to do all this stuff, that's his battle. That's what you say. You sleep, baby, and let
Yep.
him have. And I also believe you get what you put in this world to a certain degree, right? When you see people getting mishandled a lot of times some stuff that you might not know they done and stuff. It's called karma. So like
So, oh,
take it on the chin,
Victoria.
take it on the
Victoria.
chin.
Right.
So like you're married, so you don't have to really date, right? So this would just be advice for you because this is
Okay.
not the day, right? I know you date your husband still, and you all have these amazing things, but like
Yeah.
put yourself into the place of someone that isn't like a single person and try
Okay.
to just find that space and like what would be some red flags you will be looking for while trying to accept love like um,
Oh,
so,
I'm
so
glad you asked me that. Because a lot of my clients are single. So a lot of the stories that they share, I'm not sharing
mhm,
any names or anything like that,
of course,
but
of course.
just a lot of the things the common thing that I hear from the women is that the men don't know how to be straightforward with their intentions.
I beg to differ. I think they are.
I mean, I think,
So,
okay,
so
so I have an example for
and
you.
then I'm gonna respond. Go ahead, go
Okay, I
ahead.
got an example for you. And there has been two instances where we've all been talking, and my husband works with us. So typically he's usually the only man in the room. So he's usually kind of like taking up for the men. And then sometimes he's like, yeah, no, I would never do that. But what the thing that I've been hearing the most is that a lot of the men, maybe the men that they are attracting, they are being they say one thing and do another. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to see you. I want to see you. I want to see you, but never make any plans. So if I was a single person and talking to a guy that constantly says, oh, I want to see you. I want to see you, pull up. I already gave you the
So,
address. So pull up. So if you don't pull up on me, I'm gonna pull up on you.
well, okay. So let me. I like that because
That's
I've
just me. That's just
no,
me.
no. Well, I mean, and then you're gonna think about you're kind of direct and you're straightforward, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you have that, when you're able to effectively communicate how you feel and your emotions,
Yeah.
your conversations go a little different. Like I can tell you, dating for me,
Yeah.
I'm single now, right?
Yeah.
So dating for me is they do make plans. They make plans. They have time. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm not up for it. Like, cause
Mm.
and it's all about the type of people that you're talking to, and it's
Yeah.
you attract what you really want. Like a lot of times, um, I always say certain guys require certain standards, and what I mean by standards is
What do you
not
mean?
like I don't mean by standards of like if oh goodness if you got to be 6'1" or you got to make six figures. I don't mean those type standards. I mean
Okay.
like if I want to go out on a date, like if the guy wants to take you out, I mean you got to get up, you got to get dressed, you got to
Uh-huh.
prepare for your date. You have to make those efforts. And a lot of times people don't want to make those efforts. Walk around with and I'm not like just you don't want to get dressed, you don't want to really do those things. You'll prefer Netflix and chill because it's easier. Even
I'm
even I know
sorry. Mm-mm. No.
I
Uh-uh.
I
No.
believe that, and let me tell you why. And here's who come like when you say pull up, like think about it. Like when you meet someone, how do you get to the place where, oh, I think you're attractive. Let me take you out, and then I'm at your home. Like what has happened throughout that process? Because
Right.
there is a process, right?
Yeah.
Um, so and then I want to see you. I want to see you. Okay, so what do you say when they say they want to see you? Okay, so make a plan,
Okay.
or so
Yeah.
like
So
nobody
so
lands at my house and just we don't do Netflix and chill because one, I have a 17-year-old. You can't just be sitting up in my house, right?
Uh-huh.
So like, what part of the conversation um gets you to the place where all they want to do is come to your home, or they're not planning anything? How often do you talk to them? Like,
So
it's just like
that
what
is
I
a
don't
good question. That's a good question. So like the situation that happened that I heard happen. And as this person is telling me this story, I'm like, I think you
I'm
should
missing
just,
pieces.
huh?
It's some missing pieces.
Right. And I'm like, I said, if it would now for me, I said, me personally, I said, he only has one time to flake on
Ooh,
me.
girl,
You only
I'm
got one time to flake on me because
one
guess what?
time to not.
I am not, and if you flake on me and you don't like let me know ahead of time that you're flaking on me, and I like text you or call you day of and you avoiding my calls or whatever, and then you be like, oh, I was so busy. I was so busy. You know what? Stay busy, sir, and lose my number because I'm not important
So that,
enough
so
for you.
right. So it's a red flag. Like, so
Yeah, that's a flag for
it's a
me.
red
Like,
flag.
yeah,
It's not making intention,
yeah,
but that's a brick wall. Like, so we were supposed to do something and you just totally disregarded me. Oh, I'm too important to myself for that. I will be like, mm-mm, I
yeah,
will never talk to you again in life.
never.
If you if you like stand me up, I will never talk to you because we don't have to do the plans that we plan because life happens.
Right,
But the part that gets me is the decency. You
right,
don't value my time enough to
right.
say, oh, we're not gonna go. Then
Yeah.
for me, then
Hmm.
that's not gonna happen. Like I can't handle that. And
Another red flag for me would be when it comes if I was single. Another red flag would be texting all the time. Ugh.
depends on the job now. Depends on the job. Okay. Oh no,
No,
explain.
nope,
Explain
nope.
before you go ahead. Go ahead. Because I talk. I'm a talker.
No, 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 no tech, no. I want more than a afternoon text and late night text. I want to FaceTime you. I want to hang out with you. I want to see you. I want to hold your hand. I want to do all of those things. Like if you can only text me in the morning and at night, but you
My girl.
constantly have your phone in your hand, yeah,
So,
no,
so,
I'm
so
good. I'm good.
okay. So let's put it in perspective.
Hmm.
If you're only messaging me in the morning and night, we're not even conversing really, right? So
Hmm.
you're not the true expectation for me. Mind you, you're probably just going to be texting a phone that's not going to get a response if the only thing you're doing is good morning, beautiful. I'm a talker, right?
Uh-huh.
So I like to communicate, and I'm with you. I'm affectionate. Like I want to lay on you. I want to, touch you. I want to do these different things. So I mean, that's a standard, and
Yeah.
that's the standard that I'm speaking of when I say, you have to hold yourself to a certain standard. Like
Okay.
it's certain things you don't really want to do because if you wanted to do those things, those will illustrate through your actions and your
Hmm.
conversation.
Yep.
I want to get to know you, so what can we do now? I'm not a person big on like material things. So
Hmm.
like I'm not into labels and I'm not into like, extraordinary gifts, but I am into time. I am into like interest. Like, do I feel like you're interested in me? Do I feel like you want to do things? Like you can pick that up early. And I
Yeah.
think that's when I get to saying accountability. I think sometimes it's easier to just get that end goal of Netflix and chill
Uh-huh.
without doing anything, and then asserting the blame on the person for
Yep.
not doing things that you want.
Right.
Because I mean, secretly, sometimes we want that Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, you can come over, and then you're suffering the consequences. See, I'm real with myself. I know I'm a lover
Yeah.
girl. You just can't come over here because I'm like I'm gonna be in love, and I know that. So
Yeah.
seriously, I'm a
Yeah.
lover girl. Girl, I cannot just
You
let you
like
go into
you
the
come over here, we
world
go
and you
together
have
now.
like we go together
We're
real
together
bad.
now, like white on
Like
rice.
now, right? So So I'm real with myself. So I'm not
Yeah.
going to do the Netflix and chill and then looking crazy later because I
Hmm.
can't, I'm not getting what I want from that situation. So I'm like,
Right.
let me get to know you. Let me see, what you're talking about. Are you genuine? Are you serious
Right.
about being in a relationship? But I think the red flags come into what we want to see. Because
Uh-huh.
I was watching it was like, I'm not gonna go through the whole podcast, but it was a dude saying, oh, a lot of times we miss red flags because we're not looking for them. Because
Right.
you don't, it's the standard and the accountability. Like you don't really want to hear, anything bad because I just want this end goal. Or
Right.
and sometimes it's just not Netflix and chill. Sometimes people come off real strong with like finances and they help you out a little bit and you're like, oh, okay, we good in this space. But
Hmm.
again, I'm a lover girl. So like I know if you taking care of me, you coming over here doing these things, we go together. So
You my man now.
because be my man, okay?
Sorry,
So
he's taken.
I need you to know that you my man. So I need to be a woman. I need to be
Right.
yours.
Right.
I belong to you.
Because I've been cooking for you.
Right. Like what you
I,
like.
I I I use my groceries on you, okay?
I'm telling you.
So we're together
I,
now.
I give you my extra mental capacity after
Right.
this day. After everything else, I give it to you. Like it's
Uh-huh.
all about you. So no. But I
It's
think
funny.
that
It's funny that you say that. So when you were saying about like the person saying that you just get right into like the Netflix and chill type
mhm,
thing. So I don't know if it was a video or article that I was reading, and it was saying that the reason why so many people feel lonely even though they're with a person is because in life, there's different stages before you get to the bedroom. And people meet and
yes.
go straight to the bedroom. And then they wonder
Oh
why
my
they're
gosh.
lonely. One, you just met them. You don't really know much about their family. You haven't had time to do that. And then you don't necessarily know their quirks or things that bothers them.
Yeah.
You don't know how they are with their parents or with their finances or like what their goals are. You don't really know too much of that. And then you go straight to the bedroom. That's like the utmost like personal thing that you could share with somebody. Like you meet them and then you go there. Like,
I love that you said that because like I'm super lame. And when I'm in conversations, I'm always the one that I'm serious. I'm the lame one. I'm like, but I'm honest with me, right?
yeah,
I'm not walking behind closed doors. I'm not crying, balled up, trying to figure out why, somebody doesn't want me.
yeah,
It's because I'm realistic with me first. Like I would
yeah,
be like, I'm not exempt from those emotions had I did what you did. Because I'm not above the consequences if we all do the same thing, right?
yeah.
So I do something different, but I'm always the lame one because the only thing you can give somebody is your body, right? Nobody else
Hmm.
has that. Like
Yeah,
nobody can experience Victoria outside of that setting. That's
yeah,
an important spot. So I'm gonna give it to you because I'm savage. Like a lot of girls, I can do this, and then you're more vulnerable than me. Cause see, I'm
yeah,
not gonna do that. Who I give it to, I want them to have it, and I
yeah,
feel like to a sense they earned it. Like they earned
yeah,
it through connection, right?
yeah,
And so I'm okay, even if it doesn't work out. Typically, I'm okay because when I gave it to them, I they were deserving at that time. They
yeah,
deserved it, or I felt that it was the time for us
yeah,
to kind of connect on that level.
yeah,
And so, but it's like, and then I also think about like the validation, like we're all lover girls and we really don't realize that we're lover girls. And so like when you sleep with these many people, it's like that validation that you're looking for. And then again, you're going to be lonely because once that moment
yeah.
is up, nothing about this person, they don't even know how to call to you afterwards. They don't even know
Hmm.
what to say
Yeah,
to
yeah,
feel more sexy and to make you want to do it again. They don't know anything about you. They don't know what trigger you. They don't
yeah.
know. It's just like, you know, knock your boots and move on. Like
In the
I don't
convenience
know the
store,
like
everybody opens the freezer at the convenience store.
right, but I don't judge because I mean if you're
Yeah,
savage and you can do that, that's on you. I'm a lover girl, so I have to speak for myself, but I think a lot of it is that validation of, and it's really what you seeking is that love. And, you are part of the problem when you're not honest with yourself. Like when you know that you want more, and
Yeah.
you don't say it, like I think
Yeah.
you're a part of the problem. And
Right.
and
Because,
it's
yeah.
your problem. It's
Right.
not everybody's problem, it's yours.
Yeah.
So
You have these guys out here thinking that it's okay to do this, to every woman. And it goes back to finding your self-love. Like, what do you love
mhm.
about yourself? If you don't know what you love about yourself, and this is what I want the listeners to understand is that it is forever a journey on loving on yourself.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It is a
Because you're
journey.
in
You're
being
not going to get there tomorrow. You're not going to get there today. It is a journey, and it's practicing those little things that when you do them, you're like, oh, oh wow, that feels good. For example,
yeah.
I started forgot about this. So normally I wake up early anyways. I'm an early riser.
Mhm.
And I forgot that I actually like waking up early, sitting
Yes.
outside and enjoying hot tea.
Oh,
I don't drink coffee anymore. It's too much for me. But drinking like some caffeine-free hot tea before the sun comes up, oh, to me that is like, oh, today is going to be great. It's going to be a perfect day.
I love it. So, like, most recently, I started back working out because when you're
Okay.
saying, "Hey, find yourself," and working out does give me pleasure, and it
Yeah.
also helps maintain my caloric intake. So like, so
Guys,
I
I wish
started,
you could see her face. She was like,
girl,
my caloric intake.
yeah, because I like to eat it, right? So, but one of the things I'm an early riser too, so I get up around 4:30, 5 a.m.
Okay.
Most mornings. Some like lately, I've been getting up a little after 4, and
Okay.
so when I say my days are so much more fulfilling when I start off early,
Mm-hmm.
and I had started sleeping, and I've never slept really past 5 a.m. because
Yeah.
from the country, we get up, right? Up,
Early.
not a coffee drinker. So my first thing is I'm brewing my coffee, and I'm old school. Like you can smell the coffee when directly out of the shower. Like that's my morning. So I
Yeah.
started back doing that.
Uh-huh.
And I'm talking about just joy all day. Like I'm upbeat. I got energy. Um, and I get more accomplished because I
Mm-hmm.
started my day off early.
Yep.
First get my cup of coffee, then I go work out.
Yep.
And then I'm clearing my mind. I'm having, I'm listening to my music. Some days I want my Megan Thee Stallion. Yes. I mean, like I'm all over the place. And then other days like just whatever that day that whatever the previous day, and I feel like I have to accomplish that day. I get a chance to kind of just
Ease
you
into the
know
day.
and just right ease into my day and just like meditate, like what's
Mm-hmm.
next, you
Yeah.
know, and that preparation helps me with, staying focused. I get more done and accomplished. But I had stopped doing that. And that's a way of losing a part of you because, when you
Yeah.
get so consumed with everything that's going on in life, you
Yep.
forget about the things that you need to help maintain the person that you are.
Right.
And like, I'm glad you said that because like I'm prepared for the conversations that come my way, right?
Yeah.
I'm not, I'm not fogged with all of these crazy thoughts. I have a clear way of thinking. I'm ready
Mm-hmm.
for what's next. And I think because I'm working on me and
Yep.
I'm better for whatever I have to encounter that day or the person I have to encounter.
Mm-hmm.
I also can identify what I want in life, thinking about it. Like I'm talking to myself and I'm saying, I didn't like that feeling previously. Or I did like what happened. That made me feel good. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it should feel good and excited, when things go your way. So like, okay, well, what did I do to get that feeling? I
Yep.
get a chance to process those thoughts when I'm taking care of myself. And that's making me more equipped for the next moment. And
Right.
I'm more receiving to things that feel good because I know what feels good to me
Mm-hmm.
because I've identified my self love.
Yeah.
So when I'm going to a situation with someone else, I can receive what feels good and things that do not feel good.
Yeah.
I don't have to aggressively fight for it. Like it's like, okay,
Right.
that doesn't feel good. It
And
just
and
doesn't.
I think that goes like to answer your question as far as like how do you receive the love? And I think many of us sometimes we forget that we are deserving of it. It goes back to what
Okay.
you were saying as far as like how do you receive the love that you get in the relationship, and it's believing that you deserve it. I think
Oh
that
gosh.
sometimes we forget how to receive self-love and how to accept love that's given to them, and
And give it back. Like
yeah,
what
and give it
person?
back and give the love back, fill your cup and fill somebody else's cup. So hopefully they got something from this.
Yes. What would be your advice for people on that day that do not have love, that have someone interested in them, and or like just going into that day of love because it's gonna be consumed that day. People are like, I don't care. Oh, you got 30 people around you talking about it, right? So
Hmm.
it's a topic for today. You got to channel those emotions.
Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
let's again be honest with yourself. Let's act like we're not in a silo. We're not in a bubble by ourselves,
right.
right? We're
Um,
definitely.
right. You can send yourself a gift and be like, oh my gosh, I got a secret admirer. Send yourself a gift.
You know what? My thing for me was I like flowers, and I was gonna buy myself some flowers one day, but I never made it to buy flowers. I ended up going thrifting instead because that was something I like to do, and I always try to find stuff. So much for
You're
taking this.
welcome. You're
Um,
welcome, love.
I appreciate you. Tell your husband thank you for sharing you. And we'll talk soon. I'm gonna definitely check out your platforms. But thank you
Yeah.
for
Thank
listening.
you.
Have an outstanding night.
Thank you.
That concludes Sis I Got You.